It's time for state high school championship football on the Ohio High School Athletic Association Radio Network.
This is what they all battle for, what they fight for, they go through the pain for.
3, 38, Let's go live to the stadium for all of the exciting play-by-play action.
One is a parochial school, the other is public, but the parallels between the two are uncanny. St. Ignatius was 3-1 to start the season, and not much was expected from this Chuck Kyle squad after giving up over 600 yards in offense to Mentor in Week 4. But how do you write off a season that early when the coaches led his team to 10 state championships? For Pickerington Central, this start was even more dramatic, with losses to state powers Mulder and St. Xavier. Coach Jay Sherritt and company knew the power of the purple would have to materialize, and rapidly, and it did. And neither team has bothered to look back. It's been the fun part of the nail-biting roller coaster ride for both squads, and one of them will leave with more than just a carnival prize. It's the big trophy for the big schools. It's the D1 state championship between St. Ignatius and Pickerington Central. And welcome to the OHSAA Radio Network. I'm Randy Rhinehart, and I'll be painting the pictures from here in Canton alongside with my broadcast partner, AJ Trapasso. And AJ, both of these teams look like long shots to make it to this title contest.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, after the first 4 weeks, you wouldn't have guessed that these two teams would meet here in Canton tonight, but I'll tell you what, these two teams know how to win, and they certainly showed it throughout the course of the season. Won some big games late and got themselves back into position to win the state title.
Last weekend, the Tigers got a series of revenge, if you will, against St. X, defeating them 14-7. And for St. Ignatius, they were victorious over Toledo Whitmer by a count of 17-6. We'll talk more about both of these teams in detail in just a moment. But first, let's pause for these messages from the Ohio High School Athletic Association. You're listening to the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
Hey sports fans, did you know that low-fat chocolate milk is the perfect way to fuel up for any kind of fun and game? Chocolate milk is the official beverage of the Ohio High School Athletic Association because eating healthy foods like low-fat chocolate milk and staying active will help you feel your best and keep you at the top of your game. Be sure to fuel up with chocolate milk because it tastes great and provides the same 9 essential nutrients found in white milk. Visit drink-milk.com to get facts on chocolate milk.
I'm Professor Burke from the University of Farmers, where agents graze in the fields of excellence. And this is a pop quiz. True or false? The best way to protect something new is to cover it with space-age plastic wrap. False. With Farmers' New Car Pledge, you can receive the replacement value if your new car is totaled in the first 2 years. If you said true, unwrap your couches, then call a Farmers agent.
We are insurance.
We are Farmers.
Restrictions apply. Not available in all states. Call a Farmers agent for details on all of our auto coverage options. Find your local agent at farmers.com.
You're listening to the State Football Championships on the Ohio High School Athletic Association Radio Network.
Proud sponsor of the 2011 OHSAA Championships, Eastbay, the leading world supplier of athletic footwear, apparel, and sports equipment, congratulates all state qualifying teams and athletes and welcomes you to this year's championship games. To find exclusive deals on the largest selection of athletic apparel and equipment from the leading brands, visit eastbay.com/OHSAA. Welcome back to Fawcett Stadium in Canton. Randy Rhinehart alongside AJ Trapasso as we look at this matchup between these two heavyweights in Pickerington Central and St. Ignatius. Let's talk about the Tigers first of all, out of Pickerington, out of Fairfield County, and you look at this squad, and we mentioned the slow start, but AJ, they've turned it around, and so many great players on this squad. Nick Jensen-Clegg on offense, 6'1", 190, and a senior, has passed for 1,600 yards, but they've got a three-pronged attack at running back led by Billy Eakins, who's been very effective this season, 136 carries and 933 yards on the campaign.
Yeah, Billy Eakins is an explosive runner in the backfield, very shifty, extremely fast, can break the big play off at any times. But you're also going to see a nice dosage of Devon Pennick back there as well. A very strong runner in his own right, and these two together, along with Jensen-Clegg, are explosive with the offensive powers. And
Brent Walton will also see time as running back, too, as he's carried it 35 times. And one of the reasons they have holes up front is the strong play of the right tackle, Jacoby Bourne, first-team All-Ohio, who is committed to the Ohio State University.
Yeah.
And defensively, go ahead, AJ.
No, I was just going to say, following in the footsteps of the two older brothers.
Jeff Lamonaco handles their defense strong, too, with that 4-2 look, and Greg Basilega is solid at inside linebacker for that squad. You take a look at St. Ignatius, and where do you start for Chuck Kyle, who's been around for 29 seasons, 10 state championships? This team look to have some trouble. I mean, they went 2-1 early. We mentioned that. They lost to St. X in week number 9. St. X is a parallel, it seems like, for both of these squads, but so strong in the playoffs, and they got by Toledo Whitmer, as we mentioned last week, by 11 points. The leader, Eric Williams, the quarterback, is really a guy that came here from Portland, Oregon, has done a great job running this team. Tim McVeigh, third-team All-Ohio as a running back. He's rushed for nearly 1,200 yards on the campaign.
Yeah, I mean, you look across the offensive backfield and along the line, these are just powerful kids. They're strong athletes, and it's no surprise that they've made it back this far with a coach like Chuck Kyle. I mean, they're well coached, great athletes, and great attitude going forward.
And you talk about the guys up front. Well, one of the guys, the tight end, Blake Thomas, 6'4", 250, and a senior. He's going to Ohio State. He was special mention All-Ohio. And the split end, Jake Mooney, very effective too. 49 catches, 935 yards. He is also special mention All-Ohio. And how about their kicker? Tim Schenk is all-world. He's going to the Air Force Academy, and he's been effective from long distance throughout his career.
Yeah, Tim Schenk. It's nice to see a good, solid kicker on one of these teams, and Tim certainly that. He's perfect on extra points for the season, 18 to 29 on field goals with a long of 55. Randy, that's impressive.
And he had a 51-yarder as well against Whitmer last week. And the nice thing is, if you miss that long field goal, it's more like a punt because the ball just comes back out to the 20-yard line. On their defense, Dan Corrigan handles that. And you look at what they've got on defense, and I think you look at Rustum Corey. He is strong at linebacker, 50 solos. He's got 3 assists, 6 sacks so far on the campaign, too. And then in the secondary, the guy that is the co-defensive player of the year, Mike Svetina at safety, 49 solos, 3 sacks. He's also done it with interceptions, and he's going to play for the Red Hawks of Miami, and a big fumble recovery late last week against Whitmer as well.
Yeah, Mike Svetina is a special player. He certainly causes a lot of disruption in that safety back, but look for him to blitz tonight and cause some disruptions in the backfield. That's your preview of the Tigers and the Wildcats, and more on the pregame show when we come back. But first, let's pause for these messages from your local station. You're listening to the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
The Ohio High School Athletic Association is a voluntary, nonprofit association of more than 830 public and private high schools and approximately 850 7th and 8th grade schools.
Member schools vote on rules and regulations pertaining to eligibility, scholarship, and many other issues.
Sometimes we have to make tough decisions to enforce the rules, but that's just part of all the things the OHSAA does to make sure Ohio school sports are fair, safe, and fun for everyone.
Right now, nearly 30% of U.S. students aren't finishing high school. In many places, it's even higher than that. And fixing it is a responsibility that we all share. This is President Obama, and I urge everyone to take responsibility for encouraging the high school students in your communities, to support them, challenge them, and do whatever it takes to help them make it through.
Do your part by going to boostup.org and giving a student the boost that's needed to make it to graduation. A message from the U.S. Army and the Ad Council.
Bill Hoskett, Ohio State basketball All-American, NBA champion, and Olympic gold medalist on student athletes.
Studies show that students who play school sports tend to have better attendance records, higher grade point averages, fewer discipline problems, and are more likely to pursue a college education. High school sports also teach leadership, character, and provide the foundation for becoming a good citizen. Let's respect the game and remember to always keep student first in student athlete.
A message from the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Fans, find a knowledgeable local farmers agent at farmers.com. We are insurance. We are farmers. Welcome back to the pregame show here on the OHSAA Radio Network. Time now to talk about the keys to victory in this contest. And I'm joined by A.J. Trapasso. A.J., first of all, for the Tigers of Pickerington Central. This is a team that was a state runner-up in 2006, also semifinalists in 08 and 99. Back in the old days, they were Division II. And playoff appearances, 12 times for them, a mark of 22 and 11. What are some of the keys to victory for the Tigers in this contest?
You know, I've got written down here, handle the big stage. This is the first time they're going to be on the Division I state final stage. They need to just play their game and not get conned into playing any type of game that St. Ignatius' defense is going to try to lull them into. You don't have to try and do anything different. Keep with the blitz. Their defense is the one that's been carrying this team, and try not to outcoach yourself. I hope that these coaches just keep playing their offensive game plan the way that they've been doing all season and allowing their team to make the plays that they've been making all season.
And for the Tigers, 5 shutouts so far this season. 1 in the postseason, surprisingly, against Hilliard-Davidson, a strong team, a 2-time state champion in the last 10 years. Okay, for St. Ignatius and the Wildcats of Chuck Kyle, you look at this team, and they have played so well in the last 5 weeks. What do they have to do to come out on top?
Again, they need to keep playing the game that they've been playing as well. They have a lot of success, but they can't come out here and underestimate these Tigers. They need to keep playing their game and keep battling. They need to get into a rhythm early on offense and try and put the pressure on the Tigers by getting a score early.
I hate to say it's an Al Davis parallel, but it's just win, baby, when you look at both of these squads, because first of all, when you look at Pickerington Central, they've found ways to bounce back after the 2 losses early in the season. And for St. Ignatius last week against Whitmer, they were 0 for 8 on third down conversions until late in the fourth quarter. They only had 135 yards in total offense against Whitmer, yet they won that contest and came away with a chance now to get the ultimate prize in high school football. So with that being said, and that's your preview of the contest for both of these teams. And we will pause now for these messages from the Ohio High School Athletic Association. You're listening to the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
Proud to stand on our own, proud to be homegrown, a familiar face and a name you know. Come on, we know you, we know your needs, we know what being a neighbor means. Can you hear it? Fueling the American spirit. No matter when, no matter where, Marathon will take you there.
Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
I'm Professor Burke from the University of Farmers, where we whittle agents' intellects into pointy, sharp utensils. And this is a pop quiz. What is the best way to save on insurance if you own a car and a house? Should you A, sit down with a farmer's agent to combine your policies into a delightful savings sandwich, or B, keep separate policies? The answer? A, talk to us and pass the mayo.
We are insurance.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Call a farmer's agent to see how you can save on auto and home insurance. Find your local agent at farmers.com.
You're listening to the State Football Championships on the Ohio High School Athletic Association Radio Network.
Fans, Sports Time Ohio is your television home for the OHSAA Championships. Visit STOHD.com for a complete program schedule. Sports Time Ohio, fans for life. Welcome back to Fawcett Stadium in Canton, where the skies have not been cloudy all day. We've been home on this football range, and AJ, it's been gorgeous weather and a great crowd here and great weather again tonight. And you like to see that the elements will not be a factor in a game.
Yeah, again, not a lot of wind on the field. If anything, it's a very slight breeze moving from our right to left, but not a cloud in the sky all day. The weather's chilly, but it's not too cold. There's obviously not going to be any precipitation, no snow or anything, so it's an even playing field for both of these teams.
Pickerington Central just came onto the field, and now the Wildcats of St. Ignatius enter the field as well, too, as we get ready for the start of this contest. Folks, near the top of the hour, let's pause now for 15 seconds for station identification. This is the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk. Welcome back to Fawcett Stadium here in Canton, getting ready for the start of this contest. You mentioned how good the weather is, and last year I remember doing the D1 State Championship game with snow falling on us from the second quarter on, so what a difference a year can make. And you look at the offenses for both of these teams, you know, compare and contrast the two styles of offense that we'll see from the Tigers and from the Wildcats in this game.
You know, the Tigers like to spread you out. They like to throw the ball. They have a good blend with the amazing running backs that they have in the backfield. So you're going to see quite a bit. They like to throw some trickery in there, whereas Ignatius is pretty straightforward. They like to run it.
And they do indeed like to run it. Time now to honor America with our national anthem. That is the St. Ignatius High School Wildcat Marching Band under David P. Roth in his 7th year. The assistants include Dan Danch, and the drum major is Thomas Cusco. The flag corps moderator is Katie Hennessy. 68 on the field in all. Their songs at halftime will be Let's Groove, Land of a Thousand Dances, Script Cats, which includes Ignatius Rocket when the Saints go marching in, and Les Régiments. Honors for the band. They performed at Fawcett in the morning. And for more information on the band, you can hit the net at ignatius.edu/band. We'll hear from the Pickerington Central Marching Tigers at halftime of this contest as well, too. Should be a lot of fun in this game. Looking forward to it. The Tigers and the Wildcats, and you've got the perfect seat right here. Let's pause for these messages from the Ohio High School Athletic Association. You're listening to the OHSAA Radio Network, brought to you by Chocolate Milk.
College football's only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner, Ohio State's Archie Griffin, on educational athletics.
High school sports are about so much more than wins and losses. Interscholastic athletics are an extension of the classroom and teach life lessons that truly completes a young person's education. Interscholastic athletics help give young men and women the tools they need to be successful in the biggest game of all, the game of life.
A message from the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
You're listening to the State Football Championships on the Ohio High School Athletic Association Radio Network.
And the OHSAA Radio Network would like to welcome those listening around the state and around the world on our great affiliates like Lima, WCIT 940 AM, Lima's WWSR 93.1 FM, The Fan, Painesville, WABQ 1460, 1440 AM in Ontario, that's WRGM. If you're in Lima, you're on WIMA 1150 AM. In Willoughby, it's WELW 1330 AM. Marietta has WMOA 1490 on the AM side. If you go to the FM side at 100.9, it's WJAW in McConnellsville. Finley has WFIN 1330 AM. Mike Holman and the gang up there. And our online affiliates include JJHuddle.com, WSWO, DaytonOldies.com, Chillicothe's WBEX 1490 AM. Also, WKKJ 94.3 in Chile, Washington Courthouse, WCHO 105.5 FM, NorthCoastPigskin.com, and RadioNorthCoast.com. Those are our affiliates, and we say thank you to all of them for making this network possible. And hopefully you're enjoying the contest right now in the comfort of your home, or also on your mobile vehicle as well, too. If you have a smartphone, hopefully you can listen to us. You can always go to rocketm.com and listen live. There's a mobile streaming help link there, or OHSAA.org as well, too. We had the coin toss moments ago, and Pickerington Central won the toss, and they deferred to the second half, so it'll be the offense that we see first from St. Ignatius. Starting lineups brought to you by Farmers Insurance. And across the offensive line for the Wildcats, from left tackle across, it'll be Trevor Herrick, Stephen Franco, Clay Cassidy, Mike Cray, and Jim Byrne. The tight end is Blake Thomas. The split end is Jake Mooney. The quarterback, Eric Williams. Fullback, we mentioned Mike Svatina. He plays both ways. Tim McVeigh is the running back, and the flanker is Tim McCoy, and also Connor Hennessy will see time. He caught a touchdown pass last week, as did McCoy. And their place kicker is Tim Schenk. Defensively, for Pickerington Central, Jeff LaMonaco, a grad of Pick Central, runs that, and it's attacking 50 up front with Jake Kincaid, Davion Bowers, J.J. Chawo, and Taco Charlton. Linebackers are Greg Basilega and Garrett Foster. In the secondary, the corners are Jordan Gaines, and Marcus Milton. And the safeties are Adam Clopton, Sebastian Smith, and Billy Eakins. So that's the starting lineups for the beginning of this contest. And we'll let you know that your officials for this game are your referee, Paul Winglewich out of Minster. The umpire is from Wapak, James Epperly from Wapakoneta. The linesman is Dexter Kruger from Archbold. The line judge, John Darrow from Wellston, and the back judge is Lance Jacob from St. Clairsville. John Darrow, an interesting story. The line judge, I know him out of Wellston. His brother was Jim Darrow, the longtime basketball coach for the Rockets, who unexpectedly passed away earlier this year. And to honor him, I know that Chris Spielman, a former Buckeye, has a Rise Up series that he does on ESPN. They went down there and renovated the athletic facilities at Wellston and dedicated the gymnasium to James Darrow as well, too. So congratulations to Wellston for that facelift, and John Darrow following in his brother's footsteps. He's a great official, and glad to have him as a line judge in this contest. All right, AJ, early on in this game, what are you watching for? I can hear the bell right now, so this heavyweight championship fight is just about ready to begin.
Yeah, that couldn't have been a more perfect thing to play right now. You've got a high-powered teams on both sides of the ball. What I'm looking for right now, especially at the start of this game, is how does Ignatius handle the high-flying, the blitz-happy defense of Pickerington, and then how do they respond? Are they able to move the ball down the field, change field position, put points on the board? So it's going to be exciting, and there's a lot of people here in the crowd this evening. It's going to be wild.
I'll tell you what, with Chuck Kyle, he just finds ways to win contests. Offensively, they rush for 114. They give up 114. Passing, 156. They give up 123. Great numbers, but not excessive numbers. 271 yards total offense. They give up 237. And this is the team that has made it happen. And Chuck Kyle in year number 29, looking for win number 290 to go with 67 losses. And he's been around long enough that he actually has a tie as well, too. In the old days of high school football, when the earth was cooling, AJ, you had ties at the end of 4 quarters.
Yeah, well, I'm happy we don't have those anymore. I always like to have an outcome with a winner and a loser.
Their slogan is 11 in 11 for St. Ignatius. Can they get another title right now? They won 5 in a row back in 91 through 1995. And Chuck Kyle says his team worked so hard in the offseason with that start going 2-1. You wondered which direction they would take. After the loss to Mentor, when they gave up 600 yards in total offense, would they bounce back? How would they play? Well, I think we got the message that they have come to play, and they're here now, not to stop before the chance to get the ultimate prize. And for Pickerington Central, what this would mean to the folks in Fairfield County, you can't even put into words. They have worked so hard and long, and Jay Sherritt has this team, I think, up on the level with the Hilliard-Davidson down in Central Ohio. Both teams play in the Ohio Capital Conference. Kickoff time, Nick Ellis has it. He will boot it from left to right, and we are underway in the D1 State Championship game.